All right. Welcome, friends. Welcome, all. So grateful that you found yourself in this here and now place. Happy Mindfulness Monday. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Please know that you will be muted for the duration of our session today. Feel free to use the chat function to communicate with us, share questions, inquiries, thoughts, or where you're joining from. I'm finding myself to be very curious today, asking some existential questions. So feel free to put any curiosities that you have in the chat today. Invite you to join us on camera if you're comfortable with that. And if you're walking, if you're driving, if you want to not look at your screen, feel free to turn your camera off, close your eyes, and be present with us in another way. Our next live session will be March 10th with Dr. Taylor Rush from the Cleveland Clinic. And just one update. For those of you who might be new or forgotten about the PD Health at Home programming, we offer weekly programs through PD Health at Home called Mindfulness Mondays. You found us. Wellness Wednesdays, Fitness Fridays, our expert briefings, and our Spanish language programming, EP Salud en Casa. This week's Wellness Wednesday, we kick off our Care Partner Conversation series. These dynamic and engaging conversations are led by care partners of people living with Parkinson's. And they'll share their experiences, offer valuable strategies, maybe to some, maybe invaluable to others, and we'll also provide a space for support and connection. So please join us. This is kind of like a talk show. Let's hear from the community of people who are caring for people with Parkinson's. And this is an opportunity to come and join in the conversation with our panelists. So that's this Wednesday, March 5th. And you can find out more and register for our other PD Health at Home programs at parkinson.org/PD Health. And a reminder, we're getting a lot of inquiries about getting information or getting the link for Mindfulness Mondays. So if you have not registered for the 2025 Mindfulness Mondays, Brianna is going to put that link in the chat for you to go ahead and sign up for the full year of Mindfulness Mondays. You don't have to join all of them. You'll just have the link that will bring you to each session throughout the year. So thanks, Brianna, for putting that in the link. And we want to thank Light of Day Foundation for supporting the mission of the Parkinson's Foundation. Thank you so much, Light of Day. We appreciate you. And now we'll turn it to Nico. Nico's been out and about for a couple of weeks, and we're so excited to welcome them back to our Mindfulness Mondays. Nico, thanks for being here.
Okay. Let's see. Very good to be here with all of you. It's always a delight and a pleasure to join this community. Krista and I were talking before we came on with you, and I think that Devin, my partner, and I have been doing these sessions for maybe 3 years and really loving being a part of your community. I wanted to start today by just naming what I think of as a simple truth, and that is that every one of us struggles. Just a basic fact of life that each one of us carries some degree of difficulty. It could be physical difficulty. It could be emotional. It could be circumstances in our lives. But each one of us, just in being human, carries a certain burden. And that's in itself maybe not so much of a problem. I think sometimes that we have a choice about whether we let our difficulties isolate us and cut us off from other people, or we actually allow our difficulties to connect us and make us a part of things. There's a there's a little formula that I really like that says pain times resistance equals suffering. right? Pain times resistance equals suffering. So pain is the inevitability. Physical pain, emotional pain. Being alive means having some degree of pain times resistance. The resistance is the way that we contract around our pain, the way that we try to fight against our pain. And when we do that, we end up bound up in a kind of extra suffering, an extra suffering that I think can actually isolate us, cut us off from others, lead to a kind of loneliness and tension. And so if we allow perhaps for the moment that there's this formula, pain times resistance equals suffering, then, and if we say for now that pain is inevitable, it's just a part of life and we're not going to remove it completely, how do we soften resistance? I think this is a question that I am asking myself very, very often. How do I, in my life, in my moment to moment experience, how do I soften the resistance? If that is something extra, if that is something that can actually be released, and if the releasing of that leads to less suffering, not necessarily less pain, but less suffering, how do I do that? How do I do that? How do I soften that resistance? And there are many answers to this question, most of them very good. But what I'd like to say today is that mindfulness of the body is a pathway to softening that resistance. It's a way of being honest with the pain, of really meeting the pain as it is. It's a way of subtracting the resistance and kind of greeting, welcoming, almost being willing to love the difficulty. And through that, in my own experience, we begin to soften the resistance. So I do have this PhD, and I did a lot of research on mindfulness during my PhD program. And I like to throw in a little bit of research. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, but a lot of research studies have been done on mindfulness at this point, more than 10,000. Mindfulness of the body, in particular, we know does a few really good things. One, we know from literally hundreds of studies, well designed, well funded studies, mindfulness of the body reduces stress. Right? A well developed practice of mindfulness, if you really learn to attend with warm awareness to your body experience, even when that body experience is unpleasant, maybe especially when that body experience is unpleasant, mindfulness of the body reduces stress. Mindfulness of the body also improves what we call emotional regulation in the field of psychology. It's our ability to be with emotions in a healthy way and not deny or suppress, but also not get carried away. It's like emotional regulation, the way we can communicate our emotions, the way we can understand our emotions. All of that improves just through mindfulness of the body. There's quite a bit of research that suggests that mindfulness of the body improves health. It actually improves your health outcomes to develop mindfulness of the body. It also, mindfulness of the body, interestingly, improves focus. It actually enhances your ability to focus on a task and to stay focused on the task. And finally, fifth one, it improves, it strengthens your mind body connection, which is really important for people who are living with chronic difficulties in the body because you can receiving the signals of your body in real time. Very simple example, body may be telling you it's time to get up. You know, you're watching TV, you've been there for a while. Body could tell you it's time to get up and just walk around a bit. The more we, it sounds like a simple, small example, but the more that we can pay attention to those signals, the more our health has the opportunity to improve, right? So just these five already seems like a really good reason to do some mindfulness of the body, reduce stress, improved emotional regulation, better physical health, enhanced focus, strengthen mind body connection. And so we're going to do a little mindfulness of the body together, but I'll tell you a story, just a quick story before we launch into the meditation. So Devin and I, my partner and I, my wife and I travel a lot, traveling all the time. We don't even really have a stable home. And we're staying in this very nice place. But yesterday, we left a different meditation center in California at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we got on a plane in San Francisco and we flew 6 hours to Boston. And we got to Boston and we had to get our rental car and go through all of this process and get into the rental car. And then we got into the rental car and we had to drive a couple of hours into the country to get to the retreat center. And we were driving in Boston traffic. Why there was so much traffic on a Sunday, I cannot understand, but there was a lot of traffic, and Devin was the navigator, and I was the driver, and Devin was trying to tell me, go left, go right, go over here, go over there. And there's cars that are in the way, and people were driving. It's Boston, so people drive aggressively, and I'm kind of a slow poke trying to get around here, trying to get around there. And I could feel my stress level rising. I don't know where we are. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. We go into a tunnel and the GPS is no longer working and there's an exit inside the tunnel. Do we take the exit? Do we not take the exit? And then we went the wrong way. Stress level rising, rising. And we get the thoughts. Maybe this is just me, but for me, the thoughts start to run, this catastrophize, all of these. And if you can be aware, it's funny. But if you're not aware, it is not at all funny because my thoughts were going and my stress levels were going up. And I thought, okay, I teach mindfulness of the body for a living. This would be a great time to just bring awareness to the body. And so I did, driving, eyes open, still in traffic, deep breath, feel. How is the body feeling right now? Oh, there's some tension in the heart, right? Tension in the belly. And then as soon as I bring my awareness to my body, the thought loops start to soften, they start to loosen. And I have this kind of affection, like, oh, this is hard, right? I mean, not as hard as some things in life, but this is mildly difficult. Just being and just to feel that difficulty in the body. And I felt my stress level go down, down, just seeing, hearing, sensing. There's not a lot really going on right now. All I need to do is drive. So that's just one example. When we get into these difficulties, we get into stress, we get into physical pain or something difficult happening in our environment, or Lord help us, we read the newspaper, whatever it is, we could come back. Mindfulness of the body, just arriving here. So let's do a little mindfulness of body together. I'll guide us through a meditation about 8 to 10 minutes long. And so you could find a nice, comfortable meditation posture. Now, in an ideal world, it would be nice if there was a sense of uprightness, a kind of alertness. This is like almost a feeling like a string that's gently pulling your head upward toward the ceiling. So you feel awake. If that's not accessible for you, don't even worry about it. The second piece, in addition to wakeful, upright, relaxed, much more important. So you could allow your eyes to close. And let's take 3 deeper breaths. Whatever of depth of breath is accessible to you, 3 deeper breaths. And once you've taken those 3 deep breaths, just let the breath be as it is. If the breath is deep, let it be deep. If it's not so deep, let it be not so deep. And we could bring a warm awareness, a kind attention to your feet. Now, some of you will be able to feel your feet very easily, others not so much. But either way, doesn't matter. See if you can get a sense of your feet, feeling your feet. If what you feel is numbness, feel the numbness. Tingling, feel the tingling. Warmth, coolness. Just get really interested. How do I feel in my feet right now? And your mind will almost certainly wander away into other things. When your mind wanders away, gently, but a little bit firmly, bring your attention back to your feet. Really curious. Okay, how do my feet feel now? And now let's bring that warm awareness, that kind attention to your hands. And again, some of you will be able to feel your hands very easily, others not so much. Doesn't matter. Just feel the space where your hands are. See if you can get a sense of any sensations in your hands. Could be warmth, could be coolness. You could be feeling what your hands are touching, maybe fabric or each other. And you're using your hands, the sensations of your hands, to hone your curiosity, your interest. And you'll notice that your mind maybe wanders away into thinking. No problem. But when you notice it's gone, come back gently, firmly, with interest. Hmm, how are my hands now? What are they feeling? And we'll move this warm awareness, this kind attention to a final location, your shoulders. Now, nothing special needs to be happening in your shoulders. We're just getting really curious about what sensations we can feel in our shoulders right now. Good. And we'll take 3 deeper breaths. And you might open your eyes and look around. You could let your body move, let your body stretch in any way that feels comfortable for you. I like to maybe roll my shoulders or roll my wrists, but you know your body best, so whatever is going to work best for you. Oh, good, good. Well, I would love to hear in the chat, how was that for you? And what did you notice? Mindfulness of the body. So we brought our mindful awareness to the feet, to the hands, the shoulders. I feel softer. Yeah, softer. Relaxing. It's relaxing. I don't want to come back. I want to stay in the meditation. Yeah, good. I noticed how active my mind is and how wiggly my body wants to be. Somebody might be in the middle of their workday. Yeah, very relaxing, very relaxing. So relaxing, I almost fell asleep. And if you fall asleep, that's great. Don't even worry about it. You can always meditate when you wake up. A great connection between body and mind. I did fall asleep. All right. Good, good. Mind wandered, but I was able to come back. And of course, that's the key, right? The purpose is not to not wander. The mind will wander. My mind wanders. The purpose is to notice it and gently, firmly, just come back. And as many times as your mind wanders, you just come back. Do okay, do me a favor, please. From now on, for the rest of your lives, never judge yourself for your mind wandering in meditation. We can just completely skip that. And when you notice, just come back. And then you go away and you notice, you come back. It's so simple. It's so simple. Life can be so simple. I mean, people tell me that. I don't know, but I think so. My dogs all fell asleep and their snoring made me laugh. Good, good. Uh, let's see. I've learned a little bit about quieting my mind. Thank you. Good. Bringing awareness to sensations allowed me to feel the effervescent, impermanent nature of sensation and that my pain is not solid but fluid. A plus. A couple of disappointing loud interruptions. Glad I could acknowledge but not let it ruin the whole experience. Great. Life is full of disappointing, loud interruptions, I think. It's like we're trying to do something and things are just getting in the way. And so sometimes I think it's almost better for that to happen in meditation, right? Like if something annoying happens in meditation, then I can notice, oh, this is what my mind does when I'm being interrupted. So there's almost like a deeper learning when I'm interrupted and annoyed than if it all went really smoothly, right? So that's an attitude that I try to hold, not always successfully. Seemed a little longer on each body part than was usual or comfortable. Yeah, thank you for saying that. We did kind of linger in each area, and sometimes that can feel like too much. So if you're doing it on your own, just linger as long as you feel comfortable. When you go back to this yourself, just do as long as you feel comfortable. I was late to log in. What I did do felt relaxed, felt heavy, very relaxed, nearly went to sleep, happy, was dozing off. I'm at work, so I will need to wake up. Good. And it was calming. All right. Well, my friends, that's what we have time for today. As always, it is such a delight to join your beautiful community. I hope you have many more wonderful Mindfulness Mondays. And I think I will see you again in 2 months. I think Devin, my wife, will see you next month. I'll be here in a couple months, and you'll have many other presenters and wonderful people coming in. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Nico. That was fun. I'm still very active and wiggly. So, yes, he called me out, you guys. Did you hear him? Someone's in the middle of their workday. Well, thank you all for coming and joining in this mindful community. I said it last month at some point. It always whelms me to think of those of us who connect around the globe at a specific time in the day to be intentional in our awareness and community. So I thank you for making that possible. We'll see you next week. Until then, if you have any questions about the programs that the Parkinson's Foundation has coming up, don't hesitate to browse our website. And if things change in your journey with Parkinson's, call our helpline. We're here to support you. We'll see you soon.